Ladies and gentlemen, there's a silent battle taking place within you, a conflict no one else can see, a struggle between who you are and who you could become, between your greatest potential and your deepest self-doubt. And at the center of that struggle is your thinking. Your thoughts shape the life you live, not your job, not your boss, not the economy, and not the weather. Your mindset is the gatekeeper. It either opens the door to your full potential or keeps you locked in a cycle of mediocrity. Here's the truth. Your life doesn't need to be destroyed to be limited. It only needs your thinking to be compromised. Negative thoughts are not just bad habits. They're like mental viruses. They begin as small whispers, grow into inner narratives, turn into firm beliefs, and eventually define your destiny. Thoughts like, I'm not enough, it's too late, or I always mess things up, are not just passing ideas. They're internal weapons. They chip away at your self-confidence, bury your goals, and make you hesitate when it matters most. And eventually, you no longer need any outside resistance because you've become your own greatest obstacle. That ends today. Today, we let go of that old internal script and create a new mental code because success, happiness, and personal progress don't arrive by accident. They happen when you choose to eliminate the thinking that keeps you trapped consistently, intentionally, and without compromise. Let me show you how. 10 lessons, not quick tips or surface level tricks, real lessons. Because if you truly absorb them, they'll change the way you see the world, the way you talk to yourself, the way you start your day, and the way you find peace at night. You'll stop being at the mercy of your thoughts and start taking control of them. Lesson 1, learn to observe your thoughts without judgment. Most people assume their thoughts are always true. If they think something, they believe it must mean something important. But your mind isn't flawless. It's shaped by past fears, experiences, cultural influences, and the voices of people who had no authority to define you. Your thoughts are often echoes, not truths. And until you learn to observe them objectively, you'll treat every thought as fact. To break the cycle of negativity, you must stop reacting and start watching. When a thought shows up, pause. Hold it in your awareness and ask, where did this come from? Is it helping me or holding me back? Not every thought that visits deserves to stay. You must train your awareness and build that internal pause. That's how you begin to regain control. Lesson 2, understand the language of your mind. Words are the programming language of the brain. The things you say to yourself in silence become the instructions your mind follows. If you repeatedly tell yourself, I can't, your brain doesn't debate. It listens and obeys. Say, I'm not good with people, and you'll start acting distant, unsure, withdrawn. Not because it's true, but because your mind follows the script you've written. You don't need empty positivity, but you do need purposeful, clear language. Replace, I always mess things up, with, I'm learning fast. Shift, this is too hard, to, this is teaching me strength. Speak as if your words are shaping your future, because they are. Your internal dialogue should align with your vision, not your fears. Lesson 3, learn to stop feeding the negativity you consume daily. Negative thinking isn't only something you create, it's something you feed through the people you follow, the content you consume, the conversations you entertain, and the inner critic you accept. Negativity doesn't just live in your thoughts, it lives in your environment. If you keep consuming mental junk, your mindset weakens. Just like a poor diet breaks down the body. The health of your thoughts reflects the quality of your mental environment. If you keep feeding your mind junk input, your belief system begins to break down. Just like a poor physical diet weakens your body, a poor mental diet weakens your thinking. Audit what you consume mentally. Remove the sarcasm, the gossip, the endless comparisons. Choose to surround yourself with strength instead of seeking sympathy. Your mental input determines your output, so be intentional, even ruthless, about what you allow into your mind. Lesson 4, understand the power of questions. The mind is designed to answer questions. Ask a weak question like, why do I always fail? And your brain will deliver a list of reasons. But ask a better question, something like, what's one thing I can improve today? And suddenly your thinking shifts from sabotage to strategy. Negative thinkers ask questions that shrink their possibilities. Growth-minded individuals ask questions that open doors. Begin asking yourself daily, what am I thankful for? What am I capable of today? What action can I take that my future self will appreciate? The quality of your life mirrors the quality of questions you ask on a regular basis. Lesson 5, learn to separate emotion from identity. Feeling fear doesn't make you a coward. Feeling doubt doesn't make you incapable. Emotions are experiences, not labels. Yet many people confuse what they feel with who they are. They say, I'm anxious, instead of I'm experiencing anxiety. One keeps you stuck, the other gives you space to act. Start saying, I notice I feel overwhelmed, but that does not define me. Let your emotions pass through you without becoming you. Emotions are messengers. They are not your masters. Learn to listen without automatically obeying. Lesson 6, learn to interrupt the pattern. Negative thoughts don't appear randomly. They're habitual. You wake up thinking what you did yesterday, you see yourself and feel the same doubts. You start something new and familiar fears resurface. This isn't a coincidence. It's a mental routine. To break these cycles, you must disrupt the rhythm. When a negative thought surfaces, interrupt it. Say stop. Get up, move your body, shift your posture, change your breath. Speak aloud, step outside. Every change, no matter how small, weakens the old loop. The quicker you catch the thought, the less influence it holds. Lesson 7, know the difference between reflection and rumination. Self-reflection is useful. It promotes learning, growth, and improvement. But rumination is harmful. It's the constant replay of a mistake, not to learn from it, but to punish yourself. Rumination plants seeds of guilt and waters them until they become dense weeds of regret. The key is intent. Are you revisiting the past to evolve or to justify staying stuck? Are you using your mistakes to rise or to reinforce why you can't? Learn to cut the cord on destructive reflection. Tell yourself, I felt it, I've learned, now I let it go. Growth doesn't live in replay, it lives in release. Lesson 8, understand that energy is a choice. Negative thoughts thrive in low energy environments. They gain strength when you're inactive, drained, or disengaged. But your physical state is a powerful tool. Your movement, breath, posture, and tone all send signals to your mind. If you want to shift your thinking, start with your body. Lift your posture, breathe deeper, speak with clarity, train, stretch, run, dance. You don't think your way into high energy, you move your way into mental clarity. When your energy changes, your thoughts follow. Lesson 9, learn to create instead of react. The reactive mind is always in defense mode. It says, what if they don't like me? What if I fail? What if this doesn't work? But the creative mind operates from a place of intention. It asks, what can I build today? What can I make out of this challenge? What small win can I create right now? You're not here just to react to life. You're here to shape it. Like an artist molds clay, you're meant to sculpt each day with purpose. When your mind is focused on creating, it has no time to spiral into destruction. Trade passive worry for active. Lesson 10, learn to forgive yourself. Negative thinking often takes root in unresolved guilt and shame, the silent gnawing belief that you're not worthy of joy because of who you were or what you did. But here's the truth most people never speak out loud. If you do not forgive yourself, you will continue to sabotage your future to punish your past. Forgiveness doesn't mean you approve of everything you've done. It means you release its hold over your identity. It means saying, I did the best I could with the awareness I had, and now I choose better. Every day you refuse to forgive yourself, you reinforce the story that you're broken. But you are not broken. You are building, you are learning, you are healing. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. It is how you begin again without carrying yesterday's weight into today's opportunity. Pause, breathe. These aren't just lessons. They are transformations. Each one is a door out of your mental prison. And if you walk through them, not once, but daily, you'll begin to notice something powerful. Your thoughts start serving you instead of sabotaging you. Your energy rises, your confidence builds, and slowly your reality begins to reflect a new pattern, one built on clarity, courage, and strength. You were not born to live with chains around your thoughts. You were not created to suffer beneath the weight of doubt and mental noise. You were made to lead yourself, then lead others. But you cannot lead with a poisoned mind. So clear it, train it, elevate it. The world will try to define you by your worst moments, your failures, your flaws, your fears. But that's not who you are. That's simply where you started. And today you choose differently. You choose power. You choose peace. You choose a mind that works for you, not against you. So take back the pen. Tell your thoughts who's in charge. Become everything they said you couldn't be. Because here's what they never told you. The most dangerous prison is the one you don't even know you're in. It's built slowly, silently, brick by brick, from doubts you never questioned, from voices that weren't yours but became your beliefs, from wounds you never healed but learned to live with. And you've lived in it so long, you began decorating it, calling it home. But just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's freedom. Just because it feels safe doesn't mean it's right. Freedom begins the moment you refuse to accept thoughts that shrink your power. It begins when you question everything you've assumed about yourself. It begins the moment you say no more. No more mistaking anxiety for identity. No more living under the dictatorship of fear. No more being at war with your own mind. Because you were not made to merely survive in darkness. You were made to walk in light. And if you truly understood who you are, what you're capable of, you wouldn't waste another second rehearsing pain that no longer serves you. So hear this, you are not your past. You are not your patterns. You are not your worst mistake or loudest doubt. You are potential in motion. You are discipline waiting to be activated. You are resilience wrapped in human skin. You are greatness that was lied to, but never destroyed. Everything you need to rise already lives inside you. The courage, it's there. The clarity, it's waiting. The breakthrough, it's one choice away. So stop arguing for your limitations. Stop defending your doubt. Stop holding hands with the very thoughts that have held you back. There is no room for guilt in growth. There is no space for shame in transformation. There is no place for fear where purpose lives. And you don't need to wait to be ready. You just need to decide. You need to decide. Decide to speak differently, to walk differently, to show up with the mindset of someone who belongs in the room, not someone who snuck in through the back door hoping no one would notice. Decide to carry yourself like someone who has seen darkness and chose to become the light, because the greatest power you'll ever access is not inspiration, it's not talent, it's not even motivation, it's choice. You choose what thoughts you entertain. You choose what emotions you nurture. You choose what vision you hold. And when your choices align with that vision, the noise fades and your inner world becomes unshakable. To choose the higher thought, choose the clearer path, choose to lead your mind instead of being led by it. And when the doubt comes back, because it will, you don't run, you stand taller, you breathe deeper, you speak louder, and you say, I've met you before, but I'm not who I used to be. That's the difference. That's what separates those who live limited by their past from those who lead with vision. The ones who rise don't rise because the storm stopped. They rise because they become the storm, because they stopped waiting for the world to validate them and decided to validate themselves, because they built a new identity, one thought at a time. And once that identity is forged, it becomes unstoppable. Here's the final truth. Eliminating negative thinking isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming present. Present to your power, present to your purpose, present to your ability to rewrite the story in real time, not tomorrow, not when things are easier, not when people believe in you, now. Because every second you delay is a second stolen by the lesser version of you. And that version, the scared one, the passive one, the doubtful one, has run your life long enough. So close the chapter, write the new one, and this time let it be bold, let it be disciplined, let it be filled with gratitude and drive and quiet confidence that says, I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become. And you, yes, you are about to become unstoppable. Because the moment you eliminate the thoughts that tear you down, you begin building a life that lifts you up. And the world, it won't even recognize you 6 months from now, but you will. Because you'll know it wasn't luck, it wasn't magic, it was you choosing higher every single day. And that's how you win. Not just once, but for a lifetime. Life will break you. Not once, not twice. It will break you until you forget your own strength, until the voice in your head stops sounding like you and starts echoing every failure you swore you left behind. Life will test the walls of your will, beat on the doors of your patience, and see how long you'll bleed before you rise. But here's what you must remember. Difficulty is not the enemy. It is the invitation. The invitation to become what you say you are, to step into what you believe you're made of. Nobody escapes pain. Nobody avoids hardship. Nobody walks through this life untouched by fire. But some, a rare few, emerge not just unburned, but reborn, sharper, wiser, unshakable. And that's not luck. That is a choice, a path, a series of steps taken by those who refuse to be defined by what happened to them and instead define themselves by how they rise. And the first step is radical acceptance, not passive, not surrender, but radical, conscious, soul-deep acceptance of what is, of what's happened, of where you are, because denial is the first chain. You cannot defeat what you refuse to face. Stop arguing with reality. Stop wishing for a different past. You are not here to undo it. You are here to transcend it. You are here to transcend it. Own it, all of it. The scars, the setbacks, the broken pieces. Because nothing begins until you do. And once you've accepted what is, step into the second truth. Inner command. Life might be chaos out there, but your mind must be a fortress. You can't control the waves, but you can become a better captain. Start with your thoughts. Interrogate them, rewire them. Replace why me with watch me. Replace this is too much with I was made for this. Discipline your inner world like a warrior preparing for battle, because every day is a battle, and the war is always won first in the mind. The third step is clarity. Pain fogs your vision, it blurs your goals, it convinces you that survival is all there is. But you are not here to survive. You are here to direct. Sit with yourself, strip away the noise. What do you want? Who do you want to become? What would victory look like in this storm? Define it, write it, burn it into your focus like a lighthouse in a hurricane. Without clarity, every step feels like wandering. But with clarity, every storm becomes a step forward. Now comes the fourth step, purpose-driven pain. Most run from pain, but the rare few, they mine it. They pull gold from the darkness. They ask, what is this teaching me? Who is this shaping me into? Because pain is a sculptor. Brutal, yes, but honest. It cuts what doesn't belong. It burns away what's false. And if you can hold your pain with purpose, it will build you. Let every tear water your roots. Let every scar become your armor. Let every heartbreak sharpen your edge. You are not just surviving this. You are becoming something through it. Then comes the fifth step, massive personal ownership. No blame. No pointing fingers, no victim mindset. Whether you caused it or not, your life is your responsibility. That's not cruelty, that's power. Because the moment you stop waiting for someone to fix it, you begin. You become the architect, the builder, the one who says, if it's to be, it's up to me. You can't always control what breaks you, but you can control what you do with the pieces. Pick them up, build again, stronger, wiser, smarter. This is not the end of your story. It's the turning point. The sixth step, relentless action. You will not think your way out of a dark season. You will not overanalyze your way into healing. You will move one step, one habit, one choice at a time. Progress is the antidote to despair. You don't need to know the whole path, just the next right step. Take it, then the next, and then the next. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because every step you take in difficulty is double the strength. This is where resilience is born. This is where momentum begins. This is how mountains are moved, one stubborn, faithful step at a time. And when you move, step 7 emerges. Environment engineering. You cannot outgrow your environment if it constantly reminds you of who you used to be. Clean it, change it, cut what drains you, cultivate what fuels you. The people, the spaces, the conversations, they either sharpen your fire or snuff it out. Surround yourself with those who speak to your future, not your failure. And become the kind of presence that commands growth in others too. Build a world that matches your mission. Let nothing around you contradict the vision within you. And then step 8, emotional mastery. You are allowed to feel. You are not allowed to be owned by your feelings. Emotions are messengers, not masters. Feel the sadness, but don't drown in it. Feel the anger, but channel it. feel the fear, but walk anyway. Master your emotions, not by suppressing them, but by leading them. Name them, move through them, use them. You are not weak for feeling. You are powerful when you harness those feelings and give them direction. And what do you harness them for? That brings us to step 9, creative reinvention. Life's difficulties are often disguised invitations to evolve, to create a new way of living, a new system, a new self. Don't just survive the storm, redesign yourself through it. Let hardship give birth to innovation, to new routines, to new ways of thinking, to a version of you that wasn't even possible before the pain arrived. And when the world says you've changed, smile and say, exactly, because change was always the point. And then comes the 10th step, spiritual grounding. Whatever your anchor, faith, values, principles, return to it. Let it hold you steady when everything else shakes. Let it remind you this pain is not permanent. This struggle is not your identity. You are anchored to something greater than the moment, to truth, to calling, to eternity. That grounding isn't weakness, it's your root system. And the deeper the roots, the stronger the storm must be to move you. Step 11, gratitude in the grind. This isn't about fake smiles, it's about warrior vision. Seeing the value in the battle, being grateful, not because it's easy, but because it's forging something eternal in you. Thank the difficulty, not because it's pleasant, but because it's purifying. Gratitude in pain doesn't mean you like it, it means you own it. And finally, the 12th most unstoppable step, recommitment. Not once, not twice, every day. Every morning, every breath, you recommit to your vision, your future, your highest self. Because life will test your consistency more than your intensity. But if you wake up and recommit again and again and again, there is nothing you cannot overcome. Nothing that can bury you. Nothing that can stop you. Because you are no longer just reacting to life, you are rising through it. So rise not with noise, but with knowing. Not with anger, but with alignment. Not with fear, but with a ferocity rooted in clarity. Because from this moment forward, you do not see difficulties as detours. You see them as doors. Doors to deeper strength, sharper wisdom, unshakable resilience. And now you know how to walk through them. Head high, heart open, feet, because now you don't crumble under pressure, you crystallize. Now you don't flinch when things fall apart, you forge new things from the rubble. Now you don't beg for rescue, you build the ladder. The world may not see the war you fight inside, but it will feel the force of who you've become because of it. Because you are no longer just surviving this life, you are shaping it with every thought, every step, every choice that says, I do not retreat, I reclaim. Reclaim your vision, reclaim your power, reclaim your name. Not the one the world gave you, but the one that was always written inside. The name of a builder, a leader, a finisher, a force. And when the next wave comes, and it will, you'll smile, not because it's easy, but because you remember who you are now. You've walked through fire and you came out carrying light. And that light, that unbreakable flame, it doesn't just illuminate your path, but it lights the way for others. Because the truest mark of someone who's overcome real difficulty isn't the scars they wear, it's the strength they give away. It's the way they speak life into broken souls. It's how they show up for others even when no one showed up for them. It's not about leading with performance, but with presence. Not with pretense, but with peace. That is the true legacy of the overcomer. Not merely to survive, not just to succeed, but to serve, flowing from the deep wisdom forged in darkness. Because those who've walked through fire don't fear it. They become it. And they burn with grace, with clarity, with a calm and steady intensity that says, I don't need the path to be easy, I just need to be prepared. And now you are prepared for whatever lies ahead. Not because you've figured everything out, but because you've mastered what matters most. You know how to keep moving, not flawlessly, not without pain, but with power. So move forward, carry the wisdom, carry the fire, carry the light, and let every storm you've conquered become evidence that nothing, not anymore, has the power to hold you down. Because once you understand that the weight of the world can't crush what's been forged inside you, you no longer fear the pressure. You welcome it. You say, let it come. Because now adversity doesn't overwhelm you, it ignites you. You don't run from challenge. You seek it. You don't ask for an easier way. You sharpen yourself for the one you're meant to walk. You rise earlier. You stay longer. You breathe deeper. When others break, you move with them, with steady fire, because you've earned it, not by chance, but through trial, through earned belief. And when others ask how you keep going, you won't need to explain. Your life will show them. Your eyes will reflect the depth of someone who stayed and didn't quit. Your words will resonate, not because of theory, but because of truth lived. Your presence will change rooms, not from loudness, but from the weight of intention. And the world pays attention to those who've done the work. So let this be your vow, that no matter what comes, you won't shrink, you won't retreat into doubt, you won't surrender your power to fear, to failure, or to fatigue. You will rise, you will adapt, you will learn, you will overcome, not one day, but every day. And because now, that's who you are. Not a survivor, a builder. Not a wanderer, a warrior. Not a victim. Voice. Every quiet morning where no one saw, the grind, the wounds, the healing, the rebuilding, all of it. Every second has led to this undeniable truth. You weren't made for a life of hesitation. You're here to move mountains through your presence, to own your days with intention, to stand in such grounded strength that even storms make you stronger. Because the greatest transformations don't arrive with applause. They're born in silence, the silence of work done out of sight, the silence of wounds mending in darkness, the silence of choices made when no one's watching. And from that silence, something unstoppable is born. Conviction, unshakable, unbreakable, unmistakable conviction. The kind that turns heads, not because you shout, but because your life speaks volumes. And what it says is this: I've walked through fire and I carry light. I've been through hell and I returned with heaven in my heart. I've been broken, but I was never buried. I was reborn, and now you walk through life with a different presence, not looking for validation, not chasing comfort, but carrying the message that every obstacle is fuel for your rise. With that fuel, you stop waiting for the world to understand you. Instead, you become a reminder to the world that true power doesn't always speak loudly. Sometimes it's found in the way you keep your word, in how you carry yourself under pressure with calm and composure, in how you do simple things, but with relentless consistency. And when difficulty knocks again, as it always will, you won't answer with fear, but with fire in your eyes. You'll smile, not because you're untouched, but because you've trained for this. You've become the storm. Now, life's challenges no longer define you. They refine you. They sharpen your edge. They deepen your foundation. They elevate your identity. Because now you know with certainty that greatness was never supposed to be easy. It was always meant to be earned. And you're no longer intimidated by the price. You're ready to pay it. Each morning, you rise with purpose, not passivity. Each night, you rest knowing you gave everything, not for applause, not for titles, but because for someone who's seen their own strength, there is no other way to live. So take this fire, take this resilience, take this truth, and step back into the world like someone who knows. No matter what life throws at you, you are called, or not just strong enough to endure, you are bold enough to build. From now on, there is no storm that can outrun the strength of who you've become. And so you walk forward, not as who you once were, but as who you've chosen to be. With every step, you no longer carry the burden of doubt, you carry the confidence of discipline. You don't run from challenges, you move toward them, because you understand the steeper the climb, the greater the view. This world isn't gentle, it's not always fair, it doesn't give out peace or direction freely, but you're not waiting for a handout. You generate your own strength, you create your own clarity, you choose your path, even when it's uphill, even when it's lonely, even when it breaks you open. Because now you understand the breaking was never meant to end you. It was meant to reveal you. The pain wasn't punishment, it was the path. And from that path, you've built something unshakable, something that can't be faked, copied, or sold. A spirit that refuses to fold. You've turned every hit into horsepower, every loss into leverage, every setback into direction. So when the next storm approaches, you won't ask, can I make it? You'll ask, What strength is this here to reveal? Because now your faith is louder than your fear. Your work ethic drowns out your excuses. And your commitment, it's no longer a feeling, it's a decision. Final, firm, uncompromising. So stand tall, chin up, eyes clear. You weren't built for ease, you were made for elevation. Now that you remember who you are, there's nothing this life can throw your way that you can't rise through and rise above. Not anymore. And this doesn't end in silence, it ends in certainty. Certainty that you, forged in fire, grounded in truth, reborn through adversity, are no longer just surviving, you are leading. Not by luck, not by circumstance, but by the unwavering choice to rise again and again until your life becomes the undeniable proof that nothing can stop a soul that refuses to quit. Because in the end, the most priceless thing you carry isn't talent, it's not luck, it's not even fearlessness. It's the one thing you never get back, the one thing more costly than failure, the one thing more powerful than fear, your decision. It's time, the quiet currency of your life. Every single second is being spent. The only real question is, are you investing it or are you wasting it? Because whether you rise or remain, whether you build or break, whether you thrive or fade quietly into the background, will be determined by how you manage time. And the truth is, time itself isn't the issue. You have enough 24 hours, just like every great individual who ever lived. The real challenge is attention. It's intention. It's what you allow to steal the most valuable resource you'll ever have. You don't need more hours in a day, you need more ownership. Time isn't something to use when it's convenient, it's something to lead. And if you don't learn to lead your time, the world will use it for you. Every scroll on your phone is a withdrawal. Every meaningless conversation pulls from your account. Every hour spent chasing comfort instead of calling is time permanently lost from the life you were meant to build. And once it's gone, it's gone. There are no refunds, no do-overs, only regret for those who never learned how to lead their life with purpose. So how do the high performers do it? How do those who make a real impact manage time without wasting it? They don't just fill calendars. They create rhythm. They build systems. They guard their focus like it's sacred, because it is. It starts with a clear, unapologetic shift in thinking. Stop asking, what do I have time for? Start asking, what must be done to live in alignment with the future I'm building? That question changes everything. It eliminates distractions, it filters your decisions, it activates a version of you that doesn't merely get through the day, but designs it. The successful don't just manage time, they multiply it. They use leverage. They don't wake up reacting to life. They wake up with ritual, not because of strict routine, but because of deep respect for time, for purpose, for energy. They know that every block of time is like an altar, and what you give to that altar determines what you get back in life. If you want peace, schedule it. If you want freedom, earn it through structure. If you want success, build your day so that success is the natural outcome. Begin by rejecting the lie of multitasking. You weren't made to split your attention across apps, conversations, and open tabs. You were made to go deep, to focus fully, to move clearly, to pour excellence into one task at a time. Because depth leads to mastery, and mastery creates real speed in the long run. If you want to stop wasting time, stop giving your best energy to shallow tasks. Protect your mornings. Treat your deep work with the same seriousness as a soldier defending ground. Guard the first 2 hours of your day, because how you begin determines how far you can go. And remember, this is not about being busy. Busy is a trap. Busy looks like progress, but it often just masks a lack of direction. You don't need more activity, you need movement with purpose, with structure, with mission. That means every minute must support your bigger vision. Every task must justify its place on your calendar. Every person must either align with your priorities or be given a respectful no. Not from arrogance, but from clarity. Because when you truly know what matters, you stop giving your time to what doesn't. Keep going. Time won't pause for your uncertainty. It only rewards those who move with intention. Once you've reclaimed your mornings, cleared the distractions, cut out energy drains, and closed open loops, there's still one key action left. One most people avoid for years. Decide. Decide what matters most. Because not everything holds equal weight. Not every task deserves your best focus. Not every opportunity fits your path. Time management without direction is just disorder. With a planner in hand, you must make clear decisions about what truly matters. You identify what moves the needle, what delivers the most value, what creates momentum, and what aligns with the person you're becoming. Once you know that, your calendar becomes more than a schedule. It becomes sacred ground. You don't simply fill your day with tasks. You design it around key outcomes, important targets, and non-negotiables that are worth your time. Focus on 3 to 5 meaningful actions each day, no more. These are the ones that, if done with consistency, will produce more progress than 100 scattered efforts. Trying to do everything leads to accomplishing nothing of importance, but focusing like a specialist with intention is how legacies are built. Structure your day with purpose. Use your mornings to build momentum, your midday hours for deep focused work, and your evenings for review and adjustment. Don't end the day by collapsing from fatigue. End it with awareness. Ask yourself, what went well today? What needs to shift tomorrow? What did I learn and how will I apply it? This 5-minute reflection turns random motion into progress you can measure. When done consistently, days form into productive weeks, those weeks become strong foundations, and time itself begins to follow your structure. Because here's the real truth. You don't control time. You control how you show up within it. And when your energy is guided by discipline, you're focused by clarity, and your choices by purpose, time starts to work for you. You don't run out of time. You run it. You lead it. You use it deliberately. And that is how you begin to build a life that reflects your vision, not one driven by distractions. This is how you stop wasting time. You stop living on autopilot. You stop waiting to feel motivated. You stop responding to life as if you have no control. You begin to lead your day with the posture of someone who understands that every hour holds potential. And from that perspective, each morning becomes a chance to build, not react. So let this be the shift. You no longer avoid your responsibility to lead yourself. You stop managing time passively and start mastering it intentionally. Lead your hours the way a commander leads an army, with purpose, strategy, and clarity. The reason most people stay financially stuck isn't a lack of money, it's a lack of focus. The reason many stay tired isn't about low energy, it's directionless living. And the reason so many reach the end of life full of regret, it's not a lack of ability, it's because they allowed their time to be consumed by what didn't matter. But that won't be your story, because now you see time differently. It's not just hours on a clock, it's access. It's not just minutes, it's moments that can change everything. You weren't given this life to count hours, you were given it to make your time count. So stop saying I'm busy, start saying I'm building. Stop saying I don't have time, start saying I don't make time for what doesn't serve my future. You are not a passive manager of time. You are the architect of your future, and your schedule, the way you plan and protect your time, is shaping your life. From now on, your calendar is a commitment. Your daily choices are a reflection of your values. Your habits are a statement of who you are becoming. So every hour matters, every decision counts. Every breath is either lost to distraction or invested in building something greater. No more drifting, no more waiting, no more hoping someone else will give you direction. Start the day early, set the tone, move with focus, create in silence. Guard your time like it's priceless. Build your life with the precision of someone who knows the future depends on how they spend today. Time is not the enemy, it's not the excuse, it's not your weakness. Time is the test. And from this moment forward, you no longer live by the clock, you live by calling. Let others watch. Let time pass. Let distractions try to pull you off course. But you rise, you lead, you take ownership of every moment, and you make time serve the life you're building.